you have been waiting for this day, like me, counting down the days and marking X's on your calendar, anybody other than me? But thank you. That's why you're here so early. Yes, I get it. When you're excited to be in a space with other people who get you. There's something about being in a room with like minds of individuals who don't make you think you cray-cray just because you want to play bigger in life or in your career, yes? So if you are as excited as I am, say, Cheryl, I'm excited.
Cheryl, I'm excited.
Somebody get that on the recording, okay? So I can use that in some marketing. And if you are ready to be refreshed and re-energized and renewed, say, Cheryl, I'm ready.
Cheryl, I'm ready.
And last but not least, if you know that you are worth every risk that you're going to take when you leave these four walls, if you know you are worth playing bigger than you currently are playing, if you know that you are worth getting out into the world and letting them know exactly who you are and what your unique gifts are, say, Cheryl, I am worth it.
Cheryl, I am worth it.
Okay, now you convinced me, but you got to make sure you go home and convince you. So I'm here today because I want to talk about something that has been a huge part of my journey. And look, I have a PowerPoint. I do that for all you folks who are visual folks. I don't do that for me because I'm a talker. I like to run my mouth. Is that okay? I'm a verbal communicator. So I might not stick exactly to the PowerPoint slides. Is that okay? Do I have your permission?
Yes.
Beautiful. So don't be like, oh, you said that already. Don't tell me. You don't need to tell me. I get it. I am a verbal communicator, but I want to make sure I impact everybody who's here today. So I'm going to talk about a subject, comfort, getting out of your comfort zone, abandoning your comfort zone in order to soar in your power zone. And here's the reason why. I only talk about things that I personally have experienced. I don't believe in going to anybody's stage, anybody's platform, and talking about something I haven't personally had to press through, push through, or overcome. So you see all the sexy titles now. She's an international speaker, and she's been on the Dr. Oz show, and she's been in Forbes magazine. And that's so beautiful and sexy, but honey, that's not where it started. And I think in order for us to really value each other and value where we are now, in the space we're walking in now, we have to understand where the person has come from. So today I'm going to share with you my story of breaking out of comfort in order to soar into my power zone, where yes, now I can take ownership of all of the amazing things that are happening in my life. Now I can stand in a space of power and say, God, I belong here. That's powerful. And every single one of you has that option to get to where you want to be in life, to manifest what you truly want, what you truly desire, what's going to make you feel internally fulfilled, what's going to allow you to impact the lives of others, what's going to allow you to create a legacy and to get there and stand in that space and say, God, I belong here because I've done the work. And sometimes we are in such a space of comfort that we don't even realize what we're missing out on. Last week I was speaking, I was one of the keynote speakers for the Texas Black Women's Expo, Conference and Expo in Houston, Texas. And it was so funny, I took a flight there, and as I was on the flight, right as we were about to take off, I saw this man, kind of an older man, but he had a younger daughter with him. I assumed it was his daughter. And you could tell they were a little bit frazzled. So we're kind of looking and just kind of standing, and I'm looking around like, okay. So finally, the person, the steward, they call him a stewardess anymore? Flight attendant, I'm sorry. The flight attendant gets on the microphone and says, we have a dad and his daughter, they're flying for the very first time, and they really want to sit together. Would anybody be willing to give up their seat? Did you hear that right there? That's exactly what was on the plane. Silence. You're talking almost 200 people, and not one person said anything. Now, granted, I didn't say anything either, because I assumed that somebody else was going to stand up and step up to the plate. Now, mind you, I had paid extra to be able to get the seat I wanted. I paid extra to be tucked in the corner with my headphones on so nobody would bother me. You know, I give them all the signs and I want to be bothered. I speak for a living. I don't always want to speak. So she says it again. She gets back on the microphone and she says, oh, come on, with a little bit more sense of urgency. Would anybody be willing to give up their seat? This little girl looked like she was about 8 or 9. First time she wants to sit next to her dad. And I'm like, oh, everybody's gonna jump up now. And guess what? Right there, that again. Yes, nothing. Nobody moved. I mean, nobody even flinched. And finally, the third time she got back and she said, please, she's almost begging at this point. And I just said, miss, I'll give up my seat that I paid extra for. That's what I was thinking in my mind, that I paid extra for. And where did I end up sitting? Tell me. No, not first class. No, it wasn't. I wasn't that lucky. No, it wasn't that kind of a day. I end up in a middle seat. How many of you know that when you are a little bit fluffy, you do not want to sit in the middle seat? Come on now. Put me in the middle seat. I got to get up. I got to scoop my booty past all the other people. Excuse me. I got to get my stuff up. So what did I have to do? Get uncomfortable. Most of us don't want to get uncomfortable. We definitely don't want to get uncomfortable for anybody else. But the sad part is that most of us won't even get uncomfortable for ourselves. Even though there can be something greater on the opposite end. Now, no, I didn't get bumped up to first class, but do you know how that made my day feel? To have that little girl look at me and say, thank you so much. That was the gift. And sometimes there's such a big gift or a blessing on the other side of where we are right now in our career or in our business or in our lives, but we can't get to it because we don't want to get uncomfortable. And so my entire journey has been about positioning myself to intentionally do the things that scare me. Now, you know your family and friends think you cray-cray when you intentionally do the things that are scary. And sometimes you have all of these things inside of you and you want to play big and you want to get out into the world. You're like, yes, and you pump yourself up. And then in the 60 seconds later, you deflate yourself. Because now you convince yourself of why not, instead of why this could be the most enlightening thing that ever happens in your life. So I'm here on an assignment to remind you that you are amazing. An assignment to remind you that there is more for you in your career or your business, whatever space you're currently playing in. To remind you not to pull out the fuzzy slippers. How many women in the room have a pair of fuzzy slippers? Come on, be honest. It can't just be only 5 people in the room have some comfy, cozy, fuzzy slippers that you put on when you're ready to chill and relax. I have fuzzy slippers. Let me explain the significance of fuzzy slippers. So I'm a mom of 3. I have a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 13-year-old. My children know that when mommy puts on her fuzzy slippers, don't ask me to do nothing. Don't ask me to go nowhere. Don't ask me to go get you no McDonald's. Don't ask me to do anything because I have settled in and I'm comfortable. Some of you have pulled out your fuzzy slippers in your businesses and in your careers. You got the slippers sitting right there under your desk, comfortable. You know exactly what to do, how to do it. You could do it blindfolded. Nobody has to ask you. You could instruct everybody else in the office or in your space on your team, but you ain't going nowhere because you aren't doing anything different. How do you become this amazing woman standing tall who's impacting lives globally if you're comfortable? How do you become a game changer if you won't even give yourself permission to explore what else is possible? How can you call yourself a woman who is truly successful if you're not willing to inspire others through your own willingness to do what you've never done before? See, I stand here today as Cheryl Wood, an international speaker, because 8 years ago, I made a decision to get uncomfortable. And some of us become comfortable being uncomfortable. Yes? So let me explain. So for 15 years, I worked as a legal secretary in corporate America. It's just what I knew how to do. I was good at it. It was just a skill set. And I didn't have to work hard at it. I didn't have to try hard. And I got stuck there because I knew how to do it good. I could do it with my eyes closed. But once I became a mom, everything shifted in my life. How many people know that once you become a mother, everything shifts? Your priorities shift. What you want in life shifts. Everything shifted. And so I wanted to walk into a new season. Oh, but I was scared. How do I do it? How do I even get to somewhere other than where I am right now? I've done this for 15 years. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you crazy? You can't do anything different. Anybody ever had that self-talk? Negative self-talk? You talking yourself out of your own potential before you even get started. Now, how much sense did that make? You ain't even got started on the journey, and you're already backpedaling and telling yourself you can't, and why it won't. Instead of saying, you can do this. You have what it takes. You can put in the extra effort. You can learn what you don't know. That's how we have to start shifting and talking to ourselves. Now, I said for the visual people, I would do the PowerPoint, right? Say this with me, everybody. We cannot become what we want to be by remaining who we are. That means if you are going to become someone other than the person, the woman that is standing tall today, and you're going to stand a little taller as a leader, you're going to stand a little taller as a thriving, profitable business owner, that means you have to be willing to stretch. Do some stuff that scares you. If it don't scare you, it don't grow you. Tweet that. If it don't scare you, it don't grow you. And yes, I said it like that in Ebonics. I know. Comfort is just where you get comfortable in your routine and your behaviors. That's all it is. But we're trying to exit this, and we're trying to stop allowing ourselves to be held hostage to a life of mediocrity. I have a button that says I'm allergic to mediocrity. Who has some of the buttons? I think they're on my table. They're for you to take. I'm not taking them back home. They're for you to remind yourself that you got to be allergic to mediocrity, to average, to what everybody else is doing. So that means you get out of the space of wishing and wondering and kind of looking. Some of us do this. We get started and we're like, yes, yes. And we get right to the edge and we're like, ooh, it looks good over there. But no, not right now. I'm going to come back to that a little bit later. Because we're thinking about all the negative things that can happen if we take the risk. If we leap, if we jump off the edge, oh my God, what could possibly happen? Well, you could possibly fly. You could possibly spread your wings and soar and create a life that you almost don't even recognize. Just because you were bold enough, courageous enough to say, I'm going to place all bets on me. And I'm going to do something that stretches me so far across my comfort zone that I don't even recognize my own life. That's the space I'm in today. I don't even recognize my own life. After 15 years of doing what I was familiar with, and that's all comfort is, it's a space where you feel a false sense of security. You feel comfortable and familiar, and so you stay right there instead of allowing yourself to explore and experiment and figure out who you are, who else you can be. So some of us have been playing in the same space, and we already know how to do that very well. I had done the corporate gig for 15 years. I knew how to do that. Now I wanted to experience something different. But that meant I was going to have to intentionally go in the direction of the things that scared me, not run in the opposite direction. And that means you got to get comfortable feeling what it feels to feel fear. Because some of you are abandoning course and you're running away from what you believe you should be doing because you feel fear and you take that as, oh, that's my gut telling me I shouldn't do it. No, that's fear trying to talk you out of your greatness. And how do you become familiar with it until you let yourself feel it? That's how I'm standing here today as all those little sexy titles, because unlike most people, I go in the direction of the fear. So I'm here to challenge you to walk in the direction of the fear, not away from it. When you're in your power zone, you're free. There's a freedom where you're not afraid to be you. You're not afraid to fall flat on your face because you know you're getting back up. So what's the big deal? Okay, I fall, I bounce back up. So what's the big deal? Why do we as women make it such a big deal that we might fall? If you don't fall, something's wrong. Because how do you get at the verge of greatness and you ain't never experienced nothing? Not to mention, how can you help somebody else if you ain't never been through nothing? See, my power is not in the titles. My power is not in what I've accomplished and how God has used me as a vessel. My power is in my ability to be able to show other women what's possible. And to be able to authentically share my story and my truth so that you know if I can do it, so can you. You're talking to a girl who grew up in extreme poverty. I grew up in the inner city of Baltimore City in a housing project called Lafayette Projects. And you don't have to know what Lafayette is, but you know what the projects is. And every day that I came out of my house, I experienced the worst parts of life. Like literally, I witnessed the worst parts of life. Crime, violence, drug addiction, people selling drugs, teenage pregnancy, lack of resources to education. People who were stuck, not because they wanted to be, but they didn't know how to get out. And here we are with the freedom to choose discomfort, to get out of our own way, and we choose to stay stuck. My God, what's the irony of that? People who want to be unstuck, who want to go to another space, don't know how and don't have the resources, but we have all the resources we need. But we won't take the chance. And that's why many of us get to the end of our days and now we're regretting what we didn't do. I should have. Man, I wish I had tried that. Look, you can always come back to what's norm for you. You can always come back to what you know. But why not give yourself an opportunity to explore something you've never done before? Like, that's living. Like, I imagine myself when I'm like 95, I'm still gonna be fine. I'm gonna be in a rocking chair, but I'm gonna be fine. My face gonna be beat. And I wanna thank the lady who came to beat my face this morning. That's terrible, I'm terrible with names, but Dorothy will tell me what her name is. I wanna thank her. But my face gonna be beat, I'm still gonna be fine and fly, and I'm gonna be rocking in my rocking chair telling my great-great-grandkids about how amazing and juicy of a life I lived when I was in my 40s, my 30s and my 40s. How many people wanna have a juicy, juicy story to tell? Come on now. Come on, I don't want the boring story. I want a juicy story to tell them, and that means I gotta do some juicy stuff. Some stuff that required me to risk and play bigger than I'd ever played before. So here's what I know. I know that everybody in this room has the potential to play at 100 watts, but some of you are still playing at 45 watts. Some of you have the potential, all of you have the potential to play at 100 watts, but some of you are only shining on 45. And some of you, it's because of your own self-limiting beliefs. It's because of the things that you're telling yourself. You haven't entered into the power zone. You're still in a space of comfort and fear. But for some of you, it's because you're in toxic circles. And you're around toxic people who make you believe that you're only 45 watts. So you have to consistently explore your circle. Who are you around? Who are you allowing into your space? Your front row, who are you allowing to pour into you? Who are you allowing to take from you? And who are you surrounded by who pours back into you? It matters. You are the sum of what? The 5 people who are closest to you in your inner circle. You are the sum of. So if they negative, you probably gonna be negative. Stop thinking that you're going to be the savior and save everybody. You're going to come in with the shining halo and the light, and you're going to, introduce everybody to positivity. No, they're probably going to deplete your energy. And they're going to bring you down versus you bringing them up. My mother told me, Cheryl, always go to the circles where you are celebrated, not tolerated. Tweet that. Is that a tweetable? Ain't that what Oprah say? I'm trying to be Oprah now. Stop, Cheryl, you ain't Oprah. But I add to that, go to the circles where you're celebrated and accelerated, not tolerated. That means there should be some folks in your circle who are way smarter than you. They're more brilliant than you. You get up in there and you don't have nothing to say. You just be like, let me take some notes. I have those circles, people who are already playing in $1 million and $1 billion space, and I'm trying to get there. So guess what? When I go into their space, I'm not Cheryl Wood the speaker, I'm Cheryl Wood the student. I'm listening and gleaning. What have they done? And all of them, it doesn't matter what their story is, the common denominator is that they all had to press through fear. They all had to press through doubt and self-limiting beliefs. They all had to get uncomfortable. And guess what? Light bulb moment, it doesn't stop. Just because you get to one place, that's just one rung on the ladder. Now you got to climb to the next one, which means you got to get uncomfortable again. Wow, imagine that. I can't just get uncomfortable one time. I got to keep repeating this thing over and over and over again. But by God, it makes you such an amazing, confident person. Every time you press through what scares you, you become more confident and more aware of what you're capable of. People see me now and they see me speaking on stages, and sometimes I'm in front of thousands of people. And they were like, Miss Wood, they come up to me at the end, have you always been this confident? I'm like, child, boo, no. I sure have not. Let me tell you about the Cheryl Wood from 8 years ago. But because I kept pressing through, the times when I didn't know if I was good enough, I didn't believe I was good enough, the times when I had to stand on the shoulders of my other sisters and my other women who were standing tall because they believed in me more than I believed in myself, until I was able to stand on my own. Those are the kind of circles you gotta be in. And that's stepping into power. So I don't want any of you from this moment forward to dim your light. I want you to get outside of comfort because it's gonna help you to grow and improve. I want you to get outside of comfort because it's gonna help you feel internally fulfilled. It's gonna give you the drive and ambition to do more. People need your gift. Say, someone needs me.
Someone needs me.
Say it like you mean it. Someone needs me.
Someone needs me.
I know it's still early. Do we need some more coffee? Say it, look at your neighbor and tell them, someone needs me.
Someone needs me.
Yeah. Now, there's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to believe it. And when you believe that somebody somewhere in the world is not going to move forward into their next level, is not going to move forward closer to their destiny, if you don't share your gift, that's when you go into action. See, I don't just wake up every day fired up and motivated. Woo, I'm going to serve the world. Woo. No. Some days I wake up like, for real, I don't feel like doing nothing. It just is what it is. And I love what I do. But some days, my kids getting on my nerve, my husband getting on the other nerve. So guess what? I might not feel like it. But it is those days that I fight to get up. And I fight to find that person within me because I'm fighting for another woman. I'm fighting that day for a woman who is curled up in a corner at home, crying her eyes out because she so desperately wants more in life, but somebody has told her she can't get it. Some days I wake up and I'm not fighting for me. I'm fighting for a woman who knows that she has potential, who wants to get that promotion, but somebody told her she's not good enough. Or she wants to create the business, but somebody said, you ain't smart enough. You're not good enough. You don't have what it takes. And she believed them. So some mornings I'm fighting for someone other than me. Who will you fight for? Who will you get outside of comfort to fight for, even if it's not about you on that particular day? You gotta know. You gotta know why you're showing up in greatness every day. We do not have the luxury of sitting on our butts and doing nothing, ladies. We don't have the luxury of standing still where we are. We've got to keep pressing forward because there's a whole generation of folks who are looking at you and they ain't going to do nothing because you're not doing nothing. Even when you don't sign up to be an inspiration, you automatically are opted in. Sorry, don't know if you know. You are automatically opted in as an inspiration to someone else because people are always watching you. Whether you want them to or not, they're always watching. And even if you never know, even if they never tell you that they are watching you, they are watching. I recently took my son, my middle son is 10, and the boy didn't even tell me he couldn't see. Y'all kids are so weird, right? I'm like, can you see the sign, baby? Mommy, I can't see that. How long have you not been able to see, son? Talk to mommy. So we take him to the eye doctors, and we go in, and this African-American woman comes out, and she's very professional, and she brings us to the back, and she does the eye exam. And she's asking the questions, and she's doing the exam, and she says, okay, well, yeah, he definitely has to wear glasses. Yeah, I think so, too. He has to wear glasses. Let's go out and let him pick out the glasses that he wants. So we go out of the room to pick out the glasses that he wants. And as soon as we get outside of the exam room, she says, oh my God, Cheryl Wood. I was like, what the? Oh my God. I follow you on social media, and I love everything you do. And I heard you speak a year ago at a conference, and it was because of you that I opened my own pediatric eye care center. She said, I'm only here 2 days a week because I'm supplementing while I'm growing the business. And then she turns to my husband, and she says, you just don't understand. Your wife, and she goes, oh. And I'm saying, who is this woman? Who was so professional in the room, and then we got outside and she said, I couldn't do that in there. But now I can tell you this. Guys, I would have never known. And mind you, that day in particular, I was in my, all of my hot mess mommy glory. I looked a hot mess. And so I'm up in the thing with a hat on, no makeup on, looking at it, in mommy glory, taking a selfie. With this person. But you never know whose life you're impacting just by being in movement. Just by being in motion, you are getting somebody else fired up to play a bigger game. That is a responsibility. So you don't ever have the luxury of just sitting on your butt and sitting on comfort any given day of your life. I say to myself, if I stop today, how many people will stop because I stopped? How many people won't take the next step because I decided to throw in the towel because it got hard? It's supposed to be hard. Do you think greatness, you can do, oh, I want to be great, but I just want to do a little bit of stuff. Come on now. We got to do some great things to assign greatness to ourselves in the world. Success is never free. It's never easy, and it's never convenient. Ever. So wake up every day with the fire in your belly that you're going to be the best, that you're going to fight through challenges, you're going to fight through roadblocks and setbacks, and nothing is going to cause you to throw in the towel. Because somebody's watching. Somebody needs you. Everybody hold up your pointer finger. Everybody, I need everybody in this room. Hold up your pointer finger. Now just do like this. Kind of like twist it to the side. Anybody ever been fingerprinted? I hope it hasn't been because you were going to jail. I'm just saying. And if you are, we don't judge. I've been fingerprinted because, you know, I've done some international travels, and I just did the clear, you know, you have a TSA pre-check, and now they have clear, you have to be fingerprinted, a little fingerprint. Guys, this is your unique fingerprint. Nobody else has it. They cannot duplicate it. They might imitate, but they can never duplicate. Which means if you don't show up in the world and put your fingerprint on folk, they will have a void in their life. Every time you open your mouth and share your story, every time you share your unique gift, I don't care if it's baking sweet potato pies. Every time you bake, you better put your foot in it. Yes. Not literally. If you're a financial planner, be amazing. You're a speaker, don't dabble, dominate in the speaking industry. Like whatever you do, dominate in that space because you are doing this. You are literally changing the world one fingerprint at a time. Do you understand the power of that? Do you understand that somebody is going to have a void in their life forever if you don't touch them with your gift? Powerful. Take your finger and touch somebody next to you. Touch them. Touch them. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to touch them now. Come on, y'all. Touch somebody. Touch somebody. Touch somebody. Touch somebody. She's running down the aisle. Woo! Every day I wake up and I'm like, who am I going to touch today? And it might be my waitress. It might be the person behind me in the grocery store. But somebody is going to hear my voice because that's my gift. And I will not take it to the grave with me just because I want to be comfortable. I will use it. I will expend all of it. I will pour it out so that when I am gone, my legacy and my voice long outlives my physical body. You owe it to yourself. You were birthed with purpose. You were born for a specific reason. You got to know what you were born to do. I was born to run my mouth and get paid for it. And I'm milking it, y'all. I'm taking advantage, full advantage of it. But this was my reality. This was my reality. Are you giving me a 10-minute signal? Yeah. Really? She said, really? Cheryl, you really didn't stick to the whole point. All right. So this was my reality initially. This was just in 2009. I was still working as a legal secretary. Every day went to a corporate job, punched a time clock, built somebody else's dream. How many of you know if you don't step outside of comfort and you don't build your dream, somebody will hire you to build theirs? Yes? Now, let me say this. Some of you love your job in corporate America. And that's a beautiful thing. Don't abandon that. If that's what you were born to do, be the best at it. Be amazing at it. Take pride in it, but don't get comfortable. You should still be learning something new. You should be pushing yourself to stretch beyond boundaries. You should not be coming in every day and you know exactly what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and then, okay, 5 o'clock, let me go home. Come on now. That's called existing, not living. And as successful women standing tall, we are living. We are intentionally living, not just existing. I was in a space of an existence. So this is what stepping outside of comfort has allowed me to do. Travel the world, pouring into the lives of hundreds and thousands of women, reminding them of their possibility, reminding them not to let fear hold them hostage to what they really want. I've spoken for some of our amazing organizations. I just got back from India in May. My very first trip to India to speak at a conference, it was amazing. But imagine if I hadn't gotten uncomfortable 8 years ago and convinced myself that I was worth more, that I was worth at least giving myself an opportunity to pursue the thing that was tugging on me. Because some of you got some stuff pulling on you, tugging on you, it's waking you up at night, and you keep trying to run from it. You can't run, but for so long. Eventually, it's going to find you and tap you on the shoulder again and say, I'm still here waiting. Still waiting on you to at least explore what it could be. So if I hadn't explored what my life could be outside of the realm of what I was comfortable with, then guess what? I would never have experienced this right here. But here is the best part. Y'all ready? Say, oh. That's the family. I got to take my entire family with me to India. So you talk about opening up doors and walking through new doors of opportunity by getting outside of comfort. This is what it looks like. Being able to have my 9-year-old, my 10-year-old, my 13-year-old who's taller than me to experience culture change. Something that I'm 43 and I'm just experiencing it. So now I'm creating legacy. A legacy is something that you pass down. Ladies, what are you passing down? Whether you have kids or not, what are you passing down to your community? What are you passing down to colleagues who are watching you? Some of you have some things that you know you should be doing. Some of y'all got a book in you. Raise your hand if you know you got a book inside. Somebody at the front like this. She wiggling her fingers. Because you all have a story to tell, and you need to tell the story. So let me share a really quick story to express the importance of sharing your story. So in 2009, it was Thanksgiving Day, and I was excited because, well, my family, what we do, we go to everybody else's house and we eat up their food and we bring the paper plates and the cups. Don't judge us, that's just what we do. But we bring the good paper plates, you know, the real good. So I'm getting my kids ready for the day, I'm getting everybody dressed, and you're talking, you know, that was 8 years ago, so my babies were really babies. And my phone rang, and I tried to get to the phone, and I tried to get to it, but when I got to it, it was gone. The number had hung up. And I was like, okay, well, it's probably somebody in the family calling to find out what time we're going to be there. And so I went back to getting the kids ready, and then about 20 seconds later, the phone rang again. And I'm kind of, all right, let's see who this is. Let me run over a little bit her. And I looked at the phone, and I looked at it and said, caller ID said, Cherie. Well, Cherie is my twin sister. Yes, there are two of me. She's 2 minutes older than me. She thinks she's the boss of me. Sometimes I let her believe it. But we're like this. Like, we're super, super tight. So I was excited. I picked up the phone and said, hey, Sheree, what's going on, girl? And I didn't expect what I heard on the opposite end. I heard profuse sobbing like I've never heard my sister sob before. So already I'm getting emotional because we're like attached at the hip. What she feels, I feel, I know something's going on. And she's literally sobbing and I'm trying to get her to get her breath and I'm saying, Sheree, please, what's going on? Tell me what's going on because I know something's wrong. And she's literally trying to get her breath and she finally gets her breath just enough to say 2 words. And the 2 words were, Daddy died.
You got this, Cheryl.
My dad was 59 years old. Unexpectedly passed of a massive heart attack in his sleep. And I lived in close enough proximity to him where I was able to get to his house. And you know, when you pass in your own home, there's a whole process. And the medical examiner has to come, they have to make sure there's no foul play. And I got there when they were closing my father in a body bag. That is a visual I will never forget. It's like it happened yesterday. 59? Are you kidding me? I'm just getting started. And as tragic as it was, as they were starting to take him out, the medical examiner handed me this little bag, like almost like a little grocery bag. And inside was all of his personals, his social security card, his rings, his little pocket knives, because he was a little cray-cray. Just saying, when you see the cray-cray part of me come out, it's him. And I just remember standing there as I'm watching my grandmother crying and knowing that she's now going to have to bury her oldest of 8 kids. And I remember saying, wow, I hope he lived the life he really wanted to live in those 59 years. Because there is no do-over. There is no coming back and trying it again. You get one time to make it amazing. You owe it to yourself to have a career that's amazing. To have a business that's amazing. To live a life of purpose that's amazing. That makes you feel so fulfilled internally that you wake up every day like, really, God, this is what I get to do? If your life, your career, your business ain't doing that for you right now, do something else. Get started and don't worry about the how. Don't worry about every step and having a full blueprint. I must have a blueprint of exactly what I'm going to do. No, just get started. And a lot of you figuring it out will be in movement, in motion. You'll make the connections you need to make. You'll have those doors of opportunity that you need open and you'll be trying to figure out, how did I end up here? Because you got started. Because you created a sense of urgency about the fact that there was a power zone that you needed to be walking in. And that nobody, not even you, has the right to hold you from that power zone. Visualize. Every day, visualize exactly where you want to be. Visualize beyond your current reality. When I first started speaking, I told you I grew up in the projects, in the hood in Baltimore, Maryland, right? So when I decided I wanted to be a speaker, I said, well, I sure can't show up talking about I'm Cheryl Wood from the hood. I got to say something different. So I started going to all these networking events and conferences, and I would go and I would introduce myself once I really knew that speaking was my gift, and I would say, hi, how are you? I'm Cheryl Wood, international speaker. I hadn't left Baltimore yet. Come on now, hadn't left Baltimore. Hadn't been on a plane, but I was standing in that thing. I was speaking what I wanted, because all of us know that there is power in your tongue. Yes? So you can speak life over it, or you can speak death over that thing. And I said, I'm showing up the way I want to be viewed. You got to show up the way you want to be viewed. until somebody believes you really are Cheryl Wood, the international speaker, right? So look, so I said that I was speaking at the United States Department of Agriculture one day for their Women's Equality Day, and somebody came up and said, well, Miss Wood, didn't you feel like you were lying? I said, girl, I wasn't lying, I was projecting. I was projecting where God was going to take me. I already knew it because I had been thinking about it and visualizing it before it ever manifested. So when it manifested, guess what? I knew I belonged there. And when you visualize, then that puts you in a space of momentum where you plant seeds. Now, you can't plant a seed talking about, I'm waiting for this seed to pop up. I can't wait. No, you got to plant so many seeds you lose count. And when you finally look back, you're like, whoa, the harvest has come in. Plant and plant and plant and plant some more. And then upgrade your internal dialogue. Tell yourself some good stuff about you. It's okay. Look, I have these little things right here. You see what it is? It's a chain that says number 1. Girl, in my house, I'm number 1. I'm just saying. I put these things, my kids think I'm crazy. That's right, mama cray. But mama gonna do this. And I put these around my neck. And I'm like, yeah, I'm number 1. What? I'm showing up today as number 1. Because I gotta talk to myself so that I know how I'm gonna show up in the space. Now, I'm not saying answer yourself. That's something different. But talk to yourself, guys. Every day, tell yourself something amazing about your potential. Now, here's the thing. You might not initially believe it because your reality might not match what you want and what you desire. So when I was still going to the corporate job, but I wanted to be an international speaker, I started on this path where every day I would wake up and before I would get out of bed, I would say this affirmation to myself. I would say, okay, Cheryl, you are a magnet for success. Like literally, I'm laying in bed looking up and I'm like, you're a magnet for success. You're a magnet for wealth. You're a magnet for abundance. The world is waiting for you. Greatness is yours. All you gotta do is reach out and grab it. And then I would burst out laughing because I had to get up and go to my job. So I laughed for about 5 months. Every time I said it, I laughed. But something about the subconscious mind, the more you tell it something, the more it believes it. You ever met a habitual liar? They just lie, just to lie. And then they believe their own lie. You're like, this is nonsense. It's because of the subconscious mind. But it works the same way with positivity. The more you tell yourself something, the more you believe it. So about 6 months in, I said it and I didn't laugh. I said, oh my God, I didn't laugh. Instead, I said, well, why can't I? Like there was this whole different dialogue because I had been telling myself, I can, I'm capable, I have what it takes, I'm worth it, I'll do the work, I'll invest in myself. The world is waiting for me to show up and touch them with my fingerprint. And 6 months in, I believed it. And here's the connection. Once you believe, you start to move in alignment with the beliefs. So everything I started to do aligned with the beliefs. I gotta get out of here. I could talk all day long. But I just want to remind, and I'll send you guys the PowerPoint because there's a lot more content in here, and I really want you to have it. So if Dorothy doesn't mind, I'll send it to her, and she can send it out to the entire group. Would you guys like that? Okay. Has some great content in it. But I want you to stand up because I like to end on